It's okay and healthy to be alone sometimes, but not everyone enjoys it. Some people fall straight into loneliness when they spend time on their own, even if it's just for a little while, but it doesn't have to be that way. So first things first, it's important to know the difference between being alone and being lonely. Being alone is an observable fact. It's you on your own without anyone else around. On the other hand, loneliness is very subjective. Loneliness is classified as an emotion that is felt when you're unhappy about being on your own, and you're wanting some kind of companionship that you're lacking. Loneliness can be felt when you're alone, but it can also be felt when you're in a room full of people, if you're not with a friend or a loved one, or just can't relate to anyone nearby. Being alone and being lonely are two different things, and they don't have to go hand in hand. It's possible to overcome the feeling of loneliness. And learn to enjoy and appreciate time alone. If you're an introvert, you might not even need to watch this video. One key is to change the way that you see being alone. People who are prone to loneliness often feel fear about being alone. If they're single, they fear that they'll always be single, and then being alone becomes stressful. They feel hopeless and descend into loneliness. People who don't have very many friends or who live in a city far away from the people that they love can feel all kinds of emotions. It's important to address these fears and remember that being alone now doesn't mean that you'll be alone forever. If you don't want to be alone, you can actively work towards changing it, whether that means finding a romantic partner or forming new friendships. But it's important to know that in the moment, things aren't going to change, so it's time to make the best of the current situation. Whether you just started college, you've moved to a new town, or you just like spending a lot of time alone. Accept the fact that you've got time to yourself and identify the positive aspects of the situation. For example, if you live alone and you don't have a roommate eating your food, you can decorate however you like and even walk around naked if you wanted to. If you're single, you can travel wherever and whenever you choose. You can spend more time focusing on work without neglecting a partner. You can sleep soundly without someone tossing and turning next to you. You just have to look at the positive. Basically, if you don't share your space or personal life with someone, you can do whatever you want without having to compromise or give up what you want to do. Whether that time alone is a regular occurrence or just a single day out of the month. Being on your own means being able to decide exactly how you want to spend your time without having to work out a plan that everyone is happy with. It's all about what you want. Even if you'd rather not be alone in a particular moment, recognize that you have a lot of freedom and that it's a great thing. If you can start to see the situation in a positive light, you won't feel the negativity of loneliness so much. If you do start to feel lonely, take a minute to try to identify what got you feeling that way. Sometimes it can be triggered by something in particular, like a memento from an ex, or a song that reminds you of your friends that live far away. When you're struggling with loneliness, it can be helpful to get rid of anything that is making you feel worse. Put away the memento, take the song off your playlist. It doesn't have to be forever, but until you're feeling more comfortable alone and loneliness isn't such much of a problem, it's best to set the trigger aside. Once you've decided to change your perspective and you've put away anything that sparks negative feelings, start to consider what kind of things you can do with your time alone. Now, I do have a video on this. Yes, you will still be alone and it may not be what you prefer, but if you can find ways to enjoy your time, you're much less likely to feel lonely. You'll then be preoccupied with activities you actually enjoy and your focus will be elsewhere. If you have hobbies, it would be a good time to start dedicating more time to them. But what if you don't? Well, how about learning something new? Is there always something that you've wanted to learn but you've never had the chance to get into? If you've got a lot of alone time on your hands, it's a great opportunity to develop your interest. Find out who you are. Maybe you've always been interested in history. You could pick up a couple good books on a specific era or watch some documentaries. Or maybe you've considered taking up yoga. You could start doing yoga at home with a video routine or join a class in the neighborhood. This could even help you meet more people. You could even learn how to paint or play guitar. Your time alone allows you to take part in activities you care without much distraction. You can grow your skills and knowledge base more than if you were busy spending time with other people. Putting your focus into your interests will pull away from your feelings of loneliness and help you appreciate the time that you can put into learning something. There are other ways to spend your time on yourself that are helpful too. Consider taking the opportunity to get to know yourself. Sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day lives that we don't even think about what we want or where we're going or what our passion is, what our focus is, what we should be doing with our lives. If you're not sure what you want to do with your life, if you're still not sure what you're passionate about, or if you're not even sure what you like to do in your spare time, it's time to sort through those issues. Take up meditation or journaling to get out your thoughts and start working on your problems and discover what your true goals are. You might even consider seeing a therapist to help get you started, even if it's just for a couple of sessions. Working on yourself will help you be happy both short-term and long-term, and you'll be in a better place to form future relationships. While learning about who you are, you might find that you can improve your relationship with yourself. Psychologist Dr. Wayne Dyer says, "You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with." People who don't like themselves very much tend to be less comfortable with being alone, so working on loving yourself can help you get over your loneliness. Not only that, you'll feel more confident and content present in your everyday life. Learn what makes you, you, and work more towards accepting yourself, even the parts you perceive as flawed. If you can learn to love all parts of yourself and accept that there are parts that you need to improve but still love that part, you'll feel more at ease while alone, and loneliness won't be so much of an issue for you. Spend some time indulging yourself, and you'll not only be building up your relationship with yourself, but you'll be enjoying the time alone instead of feeling lonely. It doesn't have to be anything major. Have a longer bath, treat yourself to a long nap, order your favorite food for dinner, or even play a video game. Don't go overboard or eat until you feel sick or spend more than you can afford or anything like that. Just do something that makes you feel good, even if it's small. When you spend time alone doing something that makes you feel spoiled, it's hard to feel so lonely. You're too busy feeling good. And when you do it in the pursuit of self-love, you will help yourself in a way that will positively impact your present and your future. Loneliness is a terrible thing, there's no denying that. It's rooted in sadness and a sense that something is missing from our lives. When our focus is on what we want, but don't have, it's natural to start feeling down. The key to overcoming loneliness is to find a way to enjoy being alone and appreciate what you do have. And luckily, there are a lot of options to get to a point to where being alone isn't a problem. Whether you decide to distract yourself with hobbies and diving headfirst into your interest, or you'd rather work on feeling comfortable with who you are so that you can enjoy spending time with yourself, you can absolutely move forward and leave loneliness behind with some time. It'll take some work, but you can do it. Spending time with people you care about is fantastic, but that doesn't mean that time without them is lacking in anything. Shift to seeing the positives in solitude and take advantage of it if you need to, and you'll never feel lonely again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more, click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.